just going to give a quick overview of the State Department's Conventional Weapons Destruction Program. Essentially, as Lisa mentioned, we're active in over 40 countries. And since 1993, we've provided over $2.4 billion in assistance to help countries control their excess stockpiles of small arms and light weapons, conventional ammunition, as well as to clean up explosive remnants for landmines, other unexploded items like bombs, mortar shells, and those sorts of things. We're currently active in over 40 countries. We span all 6 of the State Department's geographic bureaus. We've got about 12 program managers in our office, as well as a team that's dedicated specifically to combating the proliferation of what are known as man-portable air defense systems, which are basically the shoulder-fired, heat-seeking anti-aircraft missiles, which, if those fall into the wrong hands, could have wide-ranging, catastrophic consequences, not just in terms of the airliner it takes down, but in terms of the economic impact it would have. Moreover, the Conventional Weapons Destruction Program basically consists of 2 streams of effort. Our first and most important stream that we consider at least to be the most important are small arms light weapons threat mitigation programs. Essentially, stockpiles of excess arms, conventional arms and munitions, pose obvious security threats, but less obvious humanitarian threats that not many people think about, but have a massive impact on thousands of people across the globe. First of all, terrorists, insurgents, and criminals can exploit poorly secured stockpiles for obvious reasons to do harm to the U.S. and our allies, where those poorly secured stockpiles include those man-portable air defense systems and man-pads. Again, you're talking about a wide-ranging catastrophic outcomes, civil aviation. Further, poorly maintained stockpiles can explode without warning. As munitions age, especially if they aren't taken care of and they're in a humid, wet, and moist environment, they degrade over time. And where you have massive stockpiles of munitions that are degrading, they will spontaneously explode. In Brazzaville, Republic of Congo, a few years ago, massive munitions depot right in the middle of town went up. Officially, a few hundred casualties, unofficially, several thousand casualties. Entire neighborhoods leveled, schools taken out, church taken out while people were attending church on Sunday. Massive problem. What we do is we work with our partner countries to identify what stockpiles of munitions are in their possession that they don't actually need for their national defense. We help them better secure those weapons that they do maintain for national defense. We improve their security over their stockpiles, and we teach them how to maintain those munitions in accordance with international standards, but we also will help them destroy the excess munitions that they don't. We do a lot of chopping up of bombs, a lot of chopping up of artillery shells, a lot of chopping up of AK-47s, rifles, you name it. The second stream of effort in conventional weapons destruction are humanitarian mine action programs. And that doesn't just entail landmines, as I mentioned before. We're talking about any sort of what we call explosive remnant of war. Essentially, if it was intentionally buried in the ground, shot, dropped, thrown, whatever, and it hasn't exploded yet, or it didn't explode when it was supposed to explode, it can pose a hazard for decades. You still today have farmers in France who are being killed and maimed by World War I munitions. So when you think about the number of conflicts that have occurred since World War I around the world, it's much more than just a landmine problem. We're talking about 1,000-pound bombs that might be dug up. In fact, in London, just last week, they dug up 1,000-pound bombs within under a retirement home for the past 70 years. Thankfully, it hadn't gone up. When you're talking about landmines or small arms, or explosive remnants of war contamination in extremely poor countries, Cambodia, for instance, where the vast majority of the population is surviving on less than $3 a day, you're talking about livelihoods. You're talking about people who can't make a living. Agriculture is their only source of income. There are landmines in their where they would like to farm. There are artillery shells or mortar shells buried in the ground. You don't know what's there. Their choice is to starve, essentially, or to move into those minefields and take a risk that by planting a cornfield there, nothing will explode. I was in Cambodia just a couple of months ago, and I had a chat with a woman who had actually stepped on a landmine in her cornfield 10 feet off of her porch. It didn't explode. The detonator went off, but the main charge didn't. She had a nice kill. She's extremely lucky. Around the world, about 25 people a day are falling victim to landmines and explosive weapons. We work with a whole host of non-governmental organizations, international institutions, to fund programs to clear those explosive remnants of war from the ground, as well as to teach vulnerable populations how to stay safe when living in contaminated areas. When you're looking at how does the State Department prioritize its conventional weapons destruction programs, we've got about $150 million, and like I mentioned, we're active in about 30 countries. When you take $150 million, which might sound kind of like a lot, and you divide it 40 ways, you don't have a lot of resources to put into each one of those countries. So you have to figure out how are you going to make the biggest impact with the resources that you have available. So we sort of look at our priorities in terms of tiers. But first, our highest tiered priorities are going to be any sort of program that directly benefits the United States. So we're a foreign assistance program. Foreign assistance always benefits the United States in some way, but some foreign assistance benefits us more directly than other foreign assistance. So we're interested most in funding those programs that directly benefit us. In terms of our small arms light weapons programs, we want to go after the stockpiles that are at risk of falling into the wrong hands. We think of it simplistically as keeping bad guys from getting bad stuff. We want to concentrate in North Africa and the Middle East, Africa Great Lakes region, as well as Central Asia to secure massive stockpiles of arms that are right now at great risk of falling into the wrong hands, or have fallen into the wrong hands in many cases. In terms of our humanitarian mine action programs, we want to, again, maybe simplistically, clean up our own messes first. So whether there are explosive remnants of war that are the result of prior U.S. military operations, those are going to be programs that we want to focus. So right now, Southeast Asia is a major focus for our program. Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, all of the countries that were impacted by the Vietnam War, as well as a large program we have in the Pacific Islands, cleaning up after World War II. We also are focusing on some programs in Iraq and Afghanistan to clean up after former U.S. military operations. With just over 20 years of conventional weapons destruction program assistance behind us, we're proud to say we've had a fairly profound impact around the globe. Together with our interagency and international partners, we've helped 15 countries declare themselves free from the impact of landmines and explosive remnants of war. Mozambique is on schedule to declare itself landmine impact free this year. Sri Lanka and Tajikistan will be joining those ranks in the coming years. Landmine casualty rates have fallen 60% since 1999, thanks in large part to the efforts of the United States and, like I said, our international partners, and putting a lot of resources into combating this very widespread problem. In terms of our small arms light weapons programs, we've destroyed nearly 34,000 of those man-portable air defense systems that have been falling into the wrong hands. We've destroyed 1.6 million other pieces of small arms and light weapons, as well as 90,000 tons of ordnance in about 35 countries. The world is a safer place today thanks to our conventional weapons destruction assistance programs, and will continue to be a safer place in the future.